trying to tell you is that the reason why you have to have a seat belt and have insurance on the car, and it's a law, the seat belt, it's not because they want to keep you safe. They don't give shit one about you. They don't even know you. So it's not that they are personally concerned about your health. The reason why you have to have a seat belt and have to have insurance on the car is because you are a stock on the New York Stock Exchange. Your body is owned by the stock exchange in New York, Wall Street. And since your body is a stock, you are actually worth $6 million. You didn't know that you were worth $6 million because nobody told you. But you are worth $6 million on the New York Stock Exchange. Your body is worth $6 million on the New York Stock Exchange. And so since that's the case, you are worth $6 million to the federal government. Therefore, they want to make sure that you don't hurt yourself. And if you do hurt yourself, if you do get in a wreck, that you have insurance. And you have insurance so that they will make sure that they get paid too. So they're insuring your body and they're insuring you because you are worth money to the government. That's why. They don't give a fuck about you, but your body is worth $6 million. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did. I remember about 5 years ago, you had some links up about the Treasury Direct account and
that's right.
The birth certificate, and you can even see if there's a site there's a website you can go through and it'll show you there's like different stockholders who have stock in you.
That's exactly right. That's the point, and that's why they want you to wear a seatbelt so that you stay safe because they own you.
Yeah.
And they want you to stay safe because they got money on you, and you're making them money. So stay safe and don't get hurt.
Yeah, and you can't own. That's why you have to have a license for every single thing. A dog.
That's right.
Because you can't own property because you're property yourself.
That's the point. That's exactly it. You can't own property because you are property yourself.
Right.
So how are you going to own shit? If I own you, you don't own nothing. I own you.
Well, ain't that coming out of the Civil War in 1868, somewhere around there, when they made everybody?
That's right, 1868 to 1870. That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they made everybody a part of the United States company.
That's right. They made everybody a part of the federal corporation. Now go on the web, and when you go on the web, type in U.S. The letter is U.S. Then V as in victory. V.S. So it's U.S. V.S. USA. Write that down.
Oh, like United States versus the United States of America.
That's right. .info. U.S. V.S. USA. .info. I-N-F-O.
Yeah, I remember. I remember.
Have you ever been to that website?
I think I have. This gets into like the idea of the continental United States of America, as in like South America, North America, Central America. They had a continental currency, and everything was. All
I'm telling you is just go on the web.
Right.
And just go to USVSUSA.info.
Hey,
write it down.
I just took a note on that.
Okay.
Jordan.
.info.
Jordan, when it comes to the U.S. and USA, they seem to use a lot, like you told me last time we talked. You said the word peoples. That they got that in the Constitution.
Yeah, I know. We the people, but that's not you. You are not part of we the people.
That's a special people.
That's right. That's right. That's we the people who are writing this document. We the people. Not the country, fuck, you ain't got nothing. No, it's we, the people, all of us sitting here at the table and we're writing this. Well, we are people, so we're writing this. We, the people, are going to do this and that, and we, the people, say this and that. And that's not you. You ain't people. So
Right.
you shut the fuck up. Just go watch a basketball game. Yeah, and drink your beer and just stay the hell out of the way. And keep your mouth shut. So, and it actually says in the founding documents that you cannot be an American if you are not white. Only white people can be Americans. Only white people. That's the law.
I read that. I read like if a black person is only 1/3 of a man, according to.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. According to the law.
Yeah, but Jordan, doesn't that get into like okay, like the status, like they had different statuses. I heard, like, I was doing some research where they say somebody's Caucasian or black or Negro or brown or Hispanic. It's like when you agree to be in these statuses, you have to accept everything underneath the status itself.
Well, of course, yeah.
Right, like the Dred Scott case. Scott, his last name was Scott. Scott's the last name of like that's an English name pretty much, right?
Yeah.
And so that's property of England. How can a black man have a name that belongs to England?
Yeah, that's true.
I remember like that's how, like back in the day, the slave masters would, if the slave master's name was Jack, he would name his slave Jack's, Jack, that's Jack's boy, so that's Jack's son, Jackson.
Yeah.
But because they got the name, they're property.
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
so
The
At least you're getting it now.
Yeah, and the wardship status, instead of the plantation have the wardship status just switched to the state.
Yep. And the word worship, when you go to church, you worship, is two words put into one. It's called worship. No, it's worth. 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 Meaning the value of something. What is its worth? And so worthship. So what is it worth to you? Worth means the value of something. So therefore, whatever it is that you put a high value on, if it's your girlfriend or your car or your mother or the airplane you're buying, whatever it is that you put a high value on, then we say that you are worshiping it. You're worshiping your girlfriend. You're worshiping your job. You're worshiping your bank account. Well, whatever it is you put a high worth on is what you are worshiping.
Oh my God,
so
that's why banks look like churches, like kind of.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Banks are like churches because that's why when you go to a church, all churches, when you walk into the front door, always had pointed arch doors. Do you know why? And they have pointed arch windows. The arches, windows and doors in churches always have pointed arches. You know what I'm talking about?
Kind of like a phallic symbol?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's kind of like a phallic symbol, but it's a pointed arch. Not square doors, pointed arch doors. Why? Because the church is called Mother Church. And because the Mother Church, Mother has a pointed arch. Her vagina is a pointed arch. And so, therefore, you're going inside of Mother Church. And so, that thing between that thing between the young girl's legs, it's a pointed arch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
okay.
I see what you're saying now, yeah.
Uh-huh. And so that's why the windows are pointed arches. So you're going to look inside a Mother Church. So, and so that's why when you go into the church, you're going into your mother. You're going into Mother Church.
Like like the story you said, Mother Church is like Mother Circe.
That's right, Mother Circe, Mother Circe, church, and who was Mother Circe? She was able to hypnotize people bring them into our house, lock the door behind them, and take their brains and eat them.
Oh.
Well, that's Greek mythology. Go read it. It's Greek mythology.
But that's
what the church does.
And that's the philosophy of the American government. It's a Greek philosophy,
that's
right?
It.
Yeah.
That's right. Bring you in, lock you down so that you don't know shit from Shinola. You don't know your ass from a hole in the ground. They take your name. They put a $6 million price tag on your body and lock you up, and now they own you. They can eat you, and they own you, and they can write checks on you, and so you are their slave. They own you.
And they always kill their flock in the end. It seems like.
Always.
That's
what the flock. Yeah, that's what the flock is there for, to be eaten. That's why they call Christians, God's sheep, because sheep are to be fleeced and then eaten.
Yeah,
so that's what they do. If you're a Christian in church, they're going to take everything you got, your money, your property, your underwear, and anything else you got. Bring it to the church. And if you got nothing else left, if you give it all to the church, well, then we'll just eat you.
Yeah, with Waco or Heaven's Gate or
that's right.
At Jonestown, in the very end, they always just kill everybody.
Yep. Well, you had it coming because you were stupid anyway.
Right. Yeah.
So they figure, well, you're so fucking stupid anyway, we might as well kill you. Besides, you ain't worth a shit now. We took all your money. We took everything you got. We took your home. We took your life, and we took everything else. So we might as well just get rid of you now. There ain't nothing left.
But I discovered through you, Jordan, it's all Vatican anyway, because all the directors, and head directors are at the CIA. They're always Knights of Malta, coming out of the Rome.
That doesn't make you a bad person.
That's true.
I mean, it doesn't make you a bad person just because you're fucking everybody. I mean, after all, people are going to get it anyway. They're so damn stupid they're going to get fucked anyway. So, yeah. Yeah, and since they're going to get fucked anyway, well, then the Vatican figured, well, hell, we might as well fuck them then. Because they're going to get fucked anyway because it's so damn stupid.
That is true.
So they got a little money, and if they got a little money, well, get the money from them. Tell them whatever you want. Tell them whatever they want to hear. Tell them the Lord Jesus is coming back. Tell them the Lord God loves them. And tell them this and tell them that. And just get the fucking money, stupid.
Yeah.
Just get the money.
Kind of like a pimp.
That's it, like a pimp.
Yeah.
And after the old lady has given all her money and her grocery money, and she's given all the money away, and she signed the house over to the church, they say, okay, so they own you. When you're born, they baptize you. And when you get married, they're there to make sure of your marriage. And then when you die, the priest is going to be there for your burial. So from the moment you're born to the day you get married to the day you die, the church fucking owns you, period.
Jordan, you know who's really out cold with that? The Mormon church.
Yeah, I know.
Listen, just by chance, I went to a Mormon church twice. I already knew all this stuff about these teachings, but I just wanted to see what it was like, almost like sneak in and see what was going on. And the second time I went back there, they pulled us into a separate room from everybody and sat about 10 of us down, and we were sitting there talking about, somebody has to be an authority to speak for God, because can't everybody speak for God, or everybody will get confused and stuff.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, they were sitting there basically telling everybody that only they could speak for God, and they had.
Yeah. And see, but I don't have any problem with that, because if I was there and I was in the church, I would be saying the same thing. I would be saying the same identical thing. You can't have everybody speaking for God. So sit the fuck down and shut up.
Yeah.
Now, since I am a white folks, I will speak for God. You understand? Because I'm white folks, so I can speak for God.
Yeah.
Now, what God wants you to do is give me a couple $100. And I'm not talking about next week. I'm talking about now, asshole. So pull the wallet out and drop me off a couple $100, and then keep your mouth shut and go watch your basketball. And if I need you, I'll call you later on, because I'm talking with God. Now, if you don't like that, you go get an ass whipping.
That's exactly what it is.
That's all it is.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. What makes you so important? You talking for God? Well, I'm white, for Christ's sake. The hell's wrong with you? I'm white, folks. I can talk. I can talk for God.
That's how it is in the black community. If the lighter, if you're real light skinned, then you have the most seniority. You know, that's
it. As long as you understand that, you're gonna do just fine. That's right. You just need to keep that in mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, well, it sounds to me like a bunch of bullshit. Well, it may be, but I'm still the boss. So it might be bullshit, but I'm still the boss here. So make sure the checks keep coming in.
And if the leader doesn't want to go, like with the Pope, I noticed, man, they got so many popes that have been poisoned over the years.
Well, hell yeah, and nobody liked them.
Yeah.
Even the parishioners going to church,
yeah.
And all the cardinals that were around them, they knew they're assholes. So it's like the mafia. You know the guy is in charge of the guy at the top of the mob is a fucking criminal, and he's not giving you anything. So after a while, you say, well, why are we kissing this guy's ass? Why don't we just whack him? When he goes out to dinner tonight with his old lady, I'm gonna fucking blow his brains out. I've had enough of his bullshit. I've had enough of him.
Jordan, is that really the way it is though? Like the inner orders over there, I mean, they just all around the globe just crack the whip on everybody.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like gangs. That's all I've said that 10 times. It's gang wars.
Right.
It's the white gang, and it's like in prison. You get the white gangs, and then you got the black gangs, and then you got the Mexican gangs, and then you got the Oriental gangs, and the gangs stick to themselves. So all the blacks stick to themselves, and all the whites stick to themselves, and all the Mexicans stick to themselves, and so they don't give a fuck about each other. They just soon kill each other.
Don't they have wars sometimes though? Like the Tavistock Institute or the Russell Trust Fund and the CFR and stuff. These different groups out here.
Course.
They go at it now and then, don't they?
Well, you have to do that. If you're going to have a fight, you got to have a fight promoter. You can't have a heavyweight championship fight without a fight promoter. You got to have somebody who puts the fight together and sets the ring up and sets the business up and sets up the bank account and does all the advertising. That's called a fight promoter. So you got to have a fight promoter if you're going to have a fight. And if you're not going to have a fight, you ain't going to make no money. You make the money when you have the big fight. So in Las Vegas, when you set up a fight between Muhammad Ali, the heavyweight champion of the world, and the next guy who wants to be the heavyweight champion, well, shit, there's going to be a lot of money on that one. Lots of money is going to be all over the world. People are going to be putting money on that one. And so but you're not going to have a fight if you don't have somebody to promote it. So you got to have a fight promoter.
And it's usually a distraction too, isn't it? Like when the fight's going on,
of course it is.
There'll be something else. They'll have the fight going on over here, then over there they'll be ripping everybody off.
That's right, but that's the way that's always been done in any jailbreak. That's the way it works in the jailbreak.
Right.
They plan and have a big fight break out at one end of the prison, and there's a big fight, and all the cops are down there, and all the guards are down there, and there's violence and bloodshed, violent, and while everybody's down there, the big guys are slipping out at the other end. Yeah, and keep everybody down there looking at what's going on until we get the fuck out of here. And then after it's all put down, and everybody's gone back to the cell, they say, well, where the fuck did those guys go? Oh shit, they left yesterday when all that fighting was starting. Yeah, they started that fight purposely. Keep you busy. That's why they got out 2 days ago. You just didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, they staged a riot so they could slip out the back door.
That's right. They staged a riot so they could get out the back door while you fucking around trying to put down the riot. Shit, they were getting out the back door. They were gone.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that Jordan. The CIA though, like, I'm studying all this stuff, and I'm starting to realize, right now I'm studying on a worldwide level how it works, and it's like there must be like 20 different levels of these guys all working on different...
Oh, no doubt about it. 20, 30 different levels, and nobody knows what's going on. Everybody hates each other, and everybody's going to rat on each other, and everybody wants to be top dog.
Right.
That's okay. That's the way it works.
That's what it seems. I just discovered in this research, that whole thing with that Jonestown thing. I'm seeing now that this could have been some sort of gold heist. There's a lot of gold deposits in Guyana, and I'm seeing that maybe they needed to get in there and get some gold to
That's right.
get some
See,
major
there's
amount.
all kinds of tricks like that most people don't know anything about.
Yeah,
Don't know nothing about it.
what do you think in the Middle East? What do you think they need to be there for other reasons? No doubt.
Oh, I know for a fact what the problem is. Zachariah Sitchin talked about that a long time ago.
Is it the guy like technology of the gods or something they're trying to get out of?
No. If you go to the very top of the earth where Russia, go to the very top northern tip of Russia, the northeastern tip of Russia,
Mm-hmm.
at the very top of Russia, and draw a straight line across that landmass from Russia, the Ukraine, into Eastern Europe, and draw it to the other side of the landmass, you'll hit the Gold Coast in Africa. So if you go to the top of Russia and draw a straight line, use a ruler and draw a straight line to the Gold Coast of West Africa, right on the Atlantic Ocean, and then take another straight line from England, from London to India, and draw a straight line from England to India. Now you've crisscrossed the greatest landmass on the earth, from Russia to Africa, from England to India. And where does it crisscross? Where does it cross?
Israel.
It crosses right in Israel.
Yeah.
Israel is the crisscross of the world. And therefore, any business that's going to be conducted in the world from Russia and China and India, England, Europe, Africa, any business is all going to go through Israel. All the business. So the Jews are going to take care of all the business. If Russia wants to do business with Africa, yeah, you got to come through Jerusalem. And if England wants to do business with India or China, you got to come through Jerusalem.
Just like the ancient Phoenicians.
That's right. So just understand, you're going to do any business, you better check with Israel first, because you got to come through Israel, Jack, and you better have the cash in your hand when you come through. Because you got to pay your 20% up front, or you gonna get an ass whipping.
Ain't that the breakdown of ISIS Ra and L too? That's Israel.
That's Israel.
Yeah. Yeah. People get. I told some guy I was talking about. I got a doctor's degree and I do this and that. And I was telling him about the World Israel Federation, British Israel World Federation.
Yeah.
And I was trying to teach him about it and teach him about how Israel was the center and it's ISIS, Ra, and El. And the guy almost had like some sort of panic attack or something.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful. At least he could wake up, get his head out of his ass.
Jordan, they do that though. When you start telling them the truth, they get this weird look on their face, like they're gonna collapse or something.
Well, do you remember that movie that Tom Cruise and in the military, and remember what was his name, the other actor, and they were in the court. They were in a court martial. What was his name?
Oh,
remember?
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
And he said to the kid, he says to Tom Cruise, he said, "Kid, what do you want from me?" And Cruise said, "I want the truth." And he said, "You can't handle the truth. You ain't man enough to handle the truth. You want the truth. I'll give you the truth. Bend over, I'll give you the truth." Yeah. Yeah, you want the truth? Yeah, the truth is you need a military. Because you damn well know without the military, they're going to cut your goddamn throat. So you need me. So shut the fuck up. That's the real truth.
That brings up a good point. I mean, if say like something like the CIA didn't exist, I mean, what else would be there?
That's right.
Everything would go into some sort of, because most of the stuff happens behind the scenes anyway.
That's exactly right. So if the white guys didn't take over this country and found this country and set it up and arm it with arms, well, eventually the Africans are going to come over and do it. Or the Chinese are going to come over and do it.
That makes sense. Like if you look at a city like Compton, if you withdrew all the police and all the FBI and CIA and all that stuff out of Compton, the city would kill itself within a week.
Within a week,
yeah, everybody.
There would be fucking bloodshed on the streets in a week. And the only thing that keeps that place quiet is that the gang called the police department are even more ruthless than the gangs are.
Yeah.
And everybody knows that, so everybody just stays cool. They just be cool.
Yeah, I even heard that a lot of, like, I was listening to this one guy, and he was telling me so many years ago, like in the late 70s and early 80s, somebody used to leave large amounts of guns and drugs abandoned. They would just abandon it there and let the gangs find it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
Like
all kinds of shit like that happens.
Yeah, this guy was saying how there were, back in the early 80s, there was a truckload full of machine guns and drugs just sitting there, and the truck was sitting there for a few days, and so eventually the gang said that, one of the gangs broke in the van and found all this stuff in there. It was there for them.
Yeah,
somebody
left it there for them.
Right. Yeah.
It's probably white folks. Give the blacks the guns, and hopefully they would kill each other.
Like I remember what you said about Rodney King, how that whole thing was staged and manipulated. I believe that totally.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, that was. It's all very well. I told you. As I gave you an example, I think I was telling you that if I was in Africa and I'm in Zimbabwe, Africa, Nairobi, in Kenya, and I get thrown in jail, well, I'm the only white guy in the fucking place. So the smart thing for me to do is to get all the black guys there fighting each other.
Yeah.
So I go over and tell this one guy, I said, did you hear what that guy said about your mother? What did he say? I said, well, he called your mother a fucking whore. Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah. Now he goes over there, and now they're going to get in a fight, and everybody's going to watch this. And then I tell another guy, yeah, did you hear what he said about your daddy? No. And before you know it, I got everybody fighting each other. Good. That way the fuckers will leave me alone.
Right.
So the idea is very simple. Cause everybody to be in a fight, and they'll leave me alone.
Yeah, and the leaders, when I was younger, I used to listen to rap, but I stopped listening and paying attention to the hype because I looked at all this stuff and it's so stupid the way they put these guys up there with all this money, and they look like with Jay-Z. Look at his rap label. It's called Rockefeller Records. Rockefeller.
Yeah, I know. And he talks about Jay-Z. He talks about Ja and Hova, and
yeah, and
and why? And you got to ask yourself, why does Hollywood promote this kind of music and promote movies about gangs and Fast and Furious and gang wars and gang movies and gang movies about war and violence and gangs? Why does Hollywood do that? Why do they keep promoting these gang movies? It's because they want the young people to get into gangs. They want it. They're not trying to stop it. Just say no. Bullshit. They want the kids to get into gangs because that way they got control over them. So
yeah, and the guys they got promoting it, like the rappers and stuff, all these guys pretty much aren't even real gang members, but they got them up there dressed like gang members because they know.
That's right.
That's
exactly right.
Yeah, I seen that. Where
now, what they don't want, I'll tell you what the white people who are running the planet, what they don't want is they don't want any movies being made that shows young black men going to college, going to school, doing well in school, getting high marks, opening up corporations and companies and making big money and educating their children and taking care of their families and growing intelligence and wisdom and knowledge and becoming very highly intelligent young people with good families. That's what they don't want.
Right.
Shit, you get that going, and before you know it, they'll take over the whole damn country. No, keep them on drugs and shooting each other and give them a bunch of titties and assholes and and drugs. Yeah, give them the drugs. Make sure they got plenty of drugs and plenty of alcohol and plenty of rap music and all that shit, and just fuck them. Let them have a good time on that, but don't teach them anything.
It's like a zoo.
We don't want them to know how to read or write and teach them anything and dress up in suits and be intelligent and run for office. No, we don't need that.
Yeah, that's why I was sitting, Jordan, I was sitting there watching this thing. It was about prisons, and it was all these guys in prison, and they put them in these little mini cages. This was in California. They had them in these little mini cages, and there was a basketball hoop in each cage. I
love it.
Yeah, there was, and I was sitting there. I couldn't believe it. It was all these people in cages playing basketball by themselves.
Yeah, that's it. That's cool.
Yeah,
give the chump a ball and then go play basketball.
Yeah, and it was, as soon as I saw that, you're the first person I thought of. I was like, that's what Jordan was saying.
There it is.
It's all about the basketball.
That's it. So I don't want to play basketball. Well, then you can go get your ass whipped.
Yep.
So now, you want to get your ass whipped or you want to go play basketball? So, well, I guess I'll go play basketball. Good. That's a good decision. Because I'm going to whip your ass if you decide not to play basketball, because I'm going to decide that you're getting too smart. You're starting to think. And that's the one thing we don't want is folks getting too smart.
Well, that's like with the Black Panther Party. In the beginning, they had some people who were at least halfway serious, putting breakfast programs together, and they weren't as focused on the militancy. They were trying to do something. They were serious about politics, and I saw that got shut down quick.
That's it.
They put the
and Martin Luther King, when he was out there ranting and raving about the disparities between blacks and white people were doing this and black people were doing that, and as long as he was talking about blacks and whites, the government don't give a shit. Let him talk all he wants. But when he went to Selma, Alabama, and started talking about the rich have all the money and the poor people have nothing, oh, that's different. Now that's different.
The economics of the
now he's talking about the money.
Vietnam. He started talking about what will we do with all this money that was going into Vietnam. Yeah.
And so then they said, wait a minute, the fool's talking about the money now.
Yeah. Yep.
Now you're talking about the money, so we got to whack you. We've had enough of your bullshit.
And not only did they kill him, they killed his mother and his brother.
That's right. So
his mother got assassinated in a church, and his brother, they found his brother dead in a swimming pool, strangled or something.
Well, that should tell you something right there.
Yeah, they hit. Same thing with. I remember I was watching your video about Kennedy, about something about. It was an older video you did in the late '80s, but it was about how you were saying in the video how about 100 people died.
Oh yeah, it was over 130 people died.
With Kennedy, right?
With Kennedy, absolutely, no doubt about it. Go back and read this out there on the web right now. How many people died when Kennedy was assassinated? How many people died? It tells you. It'll give you their names and addresses and who they were and how they all were found dead. Their throats were cut. They were shot in the back of their head. There's about 130 people who knew too much. They knew the Kennedys personally, or they saw something they weren't supposed to see, or they found out something they weren't supposed to know, and they went bye-bye. They got whacked.
Who, Jordan? I thought the Kennedys were Catholic.
Well, they were.
So I thought that would have been good for the powers that be. No, that would
have been good for the Vatican. Right. That would have been good for the Vatican, but it wouldn't have been good for the Jews. It would not have been very good for the blacks. It wouldn't have been very good for the Jews and for the Russians. It wouldn't have been good for the Chinese. Yeah, it would have been great for the Vatican. But the Vatican's not the only dirty game in town. There's a bunch of other dirty games going on out there, too.
Did Kennedy really want to do right?
I don't know. He was doing right on some things and wrong on the others, but it doesn't matter. He's gone anyway. Anyway, I'm going to have to go. I gotta go.
All right.
So I'll catch up with you maybe tomorrow or the next day. We can talk later.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Jordan. I appreciate it so much.
Okay. Talk to you later.
Okay. Bye, Jordan.
Bye.